We've all had to learn how to upskill over the last 18 months and move to an online learning format. And although some things are going back face to face, I think we can recognise that online learning is really here to stay. These are my 4 favourite books on online learning that I really recommend you should read. Richard Mayer's book on multimedia learning really has everything you need to know about how to put your slides together for your online presentations. Mayer's multimedia theory is awesome. It's based on the principle that we have 2 channels, auditory and visual channels, for processing information. And each of these channels has a limited capacity. So if we flood both channels, we're just going to overwhelm and we're actually not going to get effective learning at all. His theory then goes on to say that learning is an active process. So we have information come in, we choose how to filter that information and we integrate it into our prior learning and we convert that into meaningful learning for ourselves. These are the key principles, but he breaks this down into multimedia learning theories that give you practical advice on how to design your slides to optimize the learning, and the goal being that your learners will really be able to focus on the message you're delivering and to be able to use that learning in the rest of their life. After you've read Mayer's book, you're going to be able to deliver a talk with slides that truly sparkle. Stephen Kosslyn's book, Active Online Learning, helps us think about how to actually engage learners, because what we don't want is just a one-way lecture that goes on for an hour where no one actually gets anything from it. We've got into the habit of doing more online teaching, but we really need to develop how to make that online teaching meaningful. We want to increase learner engagement. We want to deliver learning outcomes, and we want them to be actively involved in the process of learning and to be able to take that learning and integrate it into their practice. Kosslyn takes us through his 5 key principles of deeper processing, dual coding, of chunking, building associations, and deliberate practice. Kosslyn's 5 key principles, when we use them all together, they help us deliver learning that actually sticks and isn't something that just is forgotten in the depths of our learner's memory. Kassy LaBorie's book, Virtual Production, is amazing. I love this book. Before I read her book, I actually didn't know that the concept of virtual production was a thing, and I've been doing online learning like everyone else and online teaching over the last 18 months because we got thrown into a world where we were educators, but we're also suddenly supposed to be online production coordinators. Nobody taught us how to do both of these skills. What LaBorie does in her book is she recognises that these are dual roles. We have roles that allow us to deliver education, but we also have roles that are about virtual production. And that's about the tech side, about literally connecting learners with links, with getting set up with their kit, as well as how we deliver the education to them, how we connect our audio and camera, how we ensure that they get good follow-up and we get good feedback. And there's so many elements to virtual production. When we try to do virtual production and the education together, we get so preoccupied with the virtual production side because that's not the stuff that we're good at, that actually the education side gets lost. We end up spending too much time thinking about how to move the next slide on or how to share our screen, and less time about being able to connect with the audience. LaBorie helps us to separate these roles and to be able to see them for what they are, which ideally we would have a separate person to do the production side, but given that we might not, at least being able to separate them in our mind makes a huge difference. This book will help you improve the education that you're delivering by recognising which are the production tasks in delivering online learning. Cultivating Communities of Practice by Etienne Wenger is brilliant. Wenger is the person on communities of practice. He invented the term along with Jean Lave. You're probably part of many virtual communities of practice without even realising it. These are communities where you connect, you learn, and you share information with other colleagues on different topics, and it helps improve your education and your sense of belonging and connection. As clinicians, we get so much value out of being parts of these communities of practice, and never more so than during the pandemic when we're seeing less people face to face. This book will help you understand your role in your communities of practice, but also how to build and nurture the communities of practice that you're in or want to develop. I'd love to know what books have helped you level up your online learning, because we're in a state of a real challenge where people are getting fed up of an old structure of sitting by the computer all day watching Zoom talks, and we have to start to work out how to improve our engagement and the quality of learning we deliver. So there you have it, my 4 top read recommendations. Enjoy.